Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Tuesday, March 3rd, 2015. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Cardoodle. This is Jim. Before we get started, I'd like to settle the debate about that dress that's going around the internet. The dress's correct colors are hashtag mauve and lime green. That's hashtag mauve and lime green. Anyone who says anything otherwise is just trolling you. Once again, I'm working on the next episode of Welcome to Boulder Dash, which I have planned to release in the next couple of weeks. Which means it's time again for community input. As the upcoming episode takes place in nature, I'm looking for suggestions on some woodland creatures. There will already be a bird featured prominently in the cartoon, as you can see me drawing in the next few minutes. So I'd like to get 2 or 3 suggestions on what other creatures should inhabit the forest and interact with the other characters in this cartoon. Please leave your suggestions in the comments section. As always, if I use your recommendation in the cartoon, you'll get a special thanks credit at the end of the next episode. So I've been watching a lot of the Twilight Zone lately. If you haven't seen the original Twilight Zone series, I highly suggest checking it out. It's on Netflix right now, seasons 1, 2, 3, and 5. Don't know what happened to season 4, but whatever. Still a lot of great content there. Back when I was in high school, I used to watch the marathon that showed every year on New Year's Day on Sci-Fi Channel, and I'd just sit there and draw alien creatures and ghosts and mutants. The thing about the Twilight Zone is that it was a series that was really ahead of its time, and it's a series that pretty consistently has pretty inventive and compelling stories, and you can see a lot of the tropes and themes that were used in that series used today. Coming back to this show made me think a lot about what makes a good story and what it takes to be creative and tell those stories in an interesting way. Years ago, I used to read all kinds of articles and books about how to be creative and different steps you can take to increase your creativity. But now what I see is that I don't think there is a right or a wrong way to really be creative. There are right and wrong ways to be productive, but the elements of a good story are different every single time. What makes a good mystery is usually different than what makes a good comedy, and that's different than what makes a good romance, and that's different than what makes a good tale of redemption. And even then, there are so many variations between genres and plot structures and characters that I think it's pretty much impossible to say how you should be creative. I think we should all strive to tell good stories in our own unique styles, whether you're writing a book or making a movie or just talking to your neighbor. Because if you think about it, we're ultimately the accumulation of all the different stories that make up our lives, and in that sense we're all creating all the time, and I think that's kind of beautiful in a way. Anyway, I want to say thanks again for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Please remember to post your suggestions for some of the background critters in the comments section, as well as any other questions or comments you may have. And please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and participating, and I will see you all again next Tuesday.